But you know what? It's okay. We're not, like, what about this look is gonna read as natural to anyone? Hello, and welcome back to Tucking It Up. My name is Tuck, and I like to play around with makeup. So today we are going to be doing kind of a Lunar New Year inspired look. So for those of you who don't know, I am ethnically Chinese, but I grew up in Malaysia. But we did celebrate, as we called it when I was growing up, Chinese New Year, with all of sort of the, at least to me, what the traditional like trappings of it were. We would have a big family reunion, like breakfast on the first day of Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, I should say. And then we would spend most of the next couple of days just, visiting various relatives, all of that. So as a child, I have to admit, it was, the visiting part was not, I was of two minds of it. On the one hand, I loved it because it was when we would get, these red envelopes, ang paos, with money. But on the other hand, it was a long day. So I live in the United States now, and I was hoping to go back for Chinese New Year actually this year, but of course with COVID-19 still raging everywhere, that's not quite an option yet. So I guess kind of as a substitute, that's why I'm doing this look today. Today's look was inspired by this ad I saw from Shu Uemura. I really loved it, so I decided to do my own spin on it. I'm going to keep that lovely like red, that graphic like winged eye, but I'm going to change things up a little bit. So in addition to, having the red, I'm going to probably try to do kind of a cut crease kind of thing in gold on the eyelids. I'm going to keep my eyebrows actually black instead of like, you see it's red in the picture. And then finally, I'm also going to go with a different shade of lipstick. As you might be able to tell, I've already done most of my base. I just did that off camera to save some time. I went in with the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. I mixed two shades, 102, which is Fair Porcelain, and 130, which is sort of my natural match, and that is what's Buff Beige is the shade name. And then I went in with the same tip concealer, mainly in shade number 1 with a little bit of number 5, just to, because again, paler. And finally to contour, and I did a little bit of bronzer as well. I used the Kevyn Aucoin Contour Book Volume 3. I'm going to use the same shade to make, the wing and that graphic shape on the eye, and also as blusher. And to do that, I'm actually going to go in with the shade Redshift here, point to it, there we go. Redshift from the Infinity Deep palette from Linda Hallberg. The pigmentation is really great on this and it blends out really well. I really like actually putting blush on my chin, I guess it's the thing I've gotten into recently. I feel like it gives me like this nice, I've just been out in the sun look. It kind of helps tie together the whole face, I find. The joys of living in a city. Are they gone? For highlighter today, I'm going to stick with the Infinity Deep palette. I'm going to use the shade Solar mainly. It's this gold. I think it's getting washed out. Sorry about the lights. Is that better? A little bit. Solar, and then mix a tiny bit in of Polar Star. Just going to go ahead and buff everything in. To start off the eye look, I'm going to go into the Golden Opulence palette from Pat McGrath, and I'm actually going to use this shade right here, Tranquility, just to sort of give, kind of define a little bit the shape, just lay down a base for the shape of that wing. Now that we have Tranquility down, I'm going to go in with Redshift. I use that as a blush earlier and use that to start sketching out that wing. And I'm going to use a pencil brush from Sigma. So I think I'm happy with where the wings are. Again, this is just a rough sketch. So what we're going to do later is I'm going to probably take like an angled minor brush or a really fine brush of some sort, just really make sure those edges are sharp. So next step is I'm going to take that wing, from here. I'm just gonna, actually I shouldn't use that tip because I'm gonna mess up. From here, just kind of do a swoop in and then go along my socket. And so even when my eyes are, completely open and looking straight, you'll see the red just right here. And then I can cut in this part of the lid, and then actually a little bit of the crease with the gold. I think I'm gonna stop like right here, so just a little bit in from where my eyebrows are, or where my eyebrows start. You want the top to be relatively neat, but then, and that's easier for me, but I can't, I have trouble getting like this bottom edge like super tiny, but that's fine because we're gonna cut in with the gold. Now that we have the shape sort of generally defined, what I'm going to do is I'm going to refine it and also fill it in. Let's start by filling it in, and when I say fill it in, I mean mainly at like kind of the outer corners here. And to fill it in, I'm going to use a flat packer brush. Now to refine the edges, I'm going to go in with, I think, an angle brush. As is usual for me, I made a mistake. As you can see here, the tail of this, the tip of that wing is a little bit too much. I kind of messed up, but you know what? It's okay. We can go in later with either, foundation just to cover it, or we can take some makeup remover, just gently wipe it away and then fill it back in. And now we're going to switch to a really fine brush. There we go. It's actually focusing, so use this for the very tips. So I'm pretty happy with how this shape is looking right now, and I'm going to stop futzing around with it too much. I'm going to deepen the outer corners a bit and then also intensify the lower lash line. I'm going to take more redshift on an angle brush, just put that, over lash line, and then let me think what I want. While I do that, I'll be thinking about what I want to do to deepen these outer corners. So I was able to figure out what I wanted to do for the outer corners. I'm going to go into the shade Vermillion Venom. Oh God, I can never do this very well, can I? This shade right here. It's from the Mothership 6 Midnight Sun palette, which is one of my favorites from Pat McGrath. So I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to deepen it, of course, just a tiny bit further with Extreme Dusk, which is kind of like this black brown from that same palette. For Vermillion Venom, I can't even say that right, I'm going to go in with an even smaller pencil brush than the one I used before. And now I'm going to go in with Extreme Dusk on the outer corner with that same pencil brush. Actually one more thing. I'm going to add some Extreme Dusk, that black brown shade, along just deepen that kind of socket a little bit. Now we're ready to cut in the crease. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the paint pot from MAC in soft ochre, put that onto a synthetic flathead brush, and just place that where I would like the gold to be. And so that's going to be kind of most of my lid, and then just into the socket just a little bit, so you can see the gold still when my eyes are fully open. So the paint pot has gone down, and I think I've left it enough time so it can set a little bit. And so now we can cut in with our gold. For gold today, I'm going to use the shade, what's it called? Gold Fortune from the Golden Opulence palette, right where we used Tranquility earlier as our transition. So it's this shade right here, this gold shade. I ended up picking this one because it's got, it's almost a little bit, almost going to copper, not quite, but approaching that territory. So it has a lot of red in the base, which is, I think, why it'll go really nicely with this color that I already have on. So that's Gold Fortune down, and so now we're going to intensify it, and I'm going to take my finger and really, pat on that shadow, mostly in the center of the lid. And then the other thing is, I'm going to blend right kind of at the outer corner here. I'm going to blend the gold into the red a little bit more. Here, along the socket, right, because it's a cut crease kind of look, it should be quite distinct. So for liner today, I'm going to go in with the black core crayon from Hallberg. I think I mentioned my eyebrows are going to be black too, so just tie everything together that way. So I'm back. In addition to the tight lining, I also set the liner with Extreme Dusk. Let me just grab that again to remind you which shade that is. Struggled. This one right here from the Mothership 6 palette. So now, let's go in and start on the brows. The brows I want to be quite dark, quite black today, and then they're going to be angled like sort of straight. So to start off, I'm going to do my usual, take a kohl pencil on an angled brush and just define it that way first. Yeah, those are the brows. I'm not a big brow person, so I think they're okay. But I really am quite happy with the eye. So, yay! Okay, so to clean up the eye shape, I'm going to go in with foundation. And I'm just going to use the color, that's kind of my natural skin color, right? So I'm going to use 130. And I think that's the eyes done. I'm digging this. Originally I was going to go in with black lipstick, but I think that will be too strong for this, and it'll end up competing too much with the eye. And so instead I'm going to go in with the shade Chestnut right here from the Colorfix Matte series from Danessa Myricks. It's just a nice, browny red. So to start, I'm going to line my lips with this brown pencil from Sephora and then fill them in with that color. To finish off the lips, I'm going to go in with the Gold Astral Vinyl Gloss from Pat McGrath. So here's the final look, and as usual, let me give you a quick tour. And we come to the end of another look. I'm quite happy really with how all of this turned out. I love the colors. I love red and gold. Anytime I get to combine them, I will. And Lunar New Year, of course, is those are the signature colors, right? So what better excuse? I'm also really happy that I decided not to go with the black lipstick. I think that really would have made this, just thrown the whole look off. There would have been no balance. Your eyes wouldn't know where to go. You go, oh, look at the eye. Oh, look at that black lip. Oh, look at, there would just have been too much competition. And then the final thing is that I've been doing this, I guess, quite a few looks recently where I sort of have more of a graphic shape to the eye. And I used to be so afraid of that, but I don't know, lately it feels like that approach has been working for me. So I'm really happy to be able to practice that again and have it actually turn out, I think, quite well. So thank you so much for joining me. If you like content like this, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and until next time, bye!